Hey everybody, this is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. This story is unraveling at light speed. So let's remember and go back to what the unofficial mouthpiece had pushed out from directly the Sussexes. Omid Scobie writes, "Last night, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Doria Raglan were involved in a terrifying paparazzi car chase involving 6 blacked-out vehicles in a chase that could have been fatal." So, Backgrid Agency, also known as Meghan Markle's dial-a-pap on speed dial, recognized that Meghan and Harry were putting liability on the agency and decided to put out a statement of their side of the story. They confirmed that they were assigned to cover Meghan and Harry's stay in New York City and had an idea of their itinerary. The only way that they could have gotten that information would be from directly the Sussexes' camp, in which Backgrid goes on record to say, according to the accounts given by these freelance contributors, they were covering the couple's stay in New York City, including the possibility of a dinner after an award ceremony. They had no intention of causing any distress or harm, as their only tool was their cameras. A few of the photos even show Meghan Markle smiling inside the cab. The photographers report that one of the 4 SUVs from Prince Harry's security escort was driving in a manner that could be perceived as reckless. The vehicle was seen blocking off streets, and in one video, it is shown being pulled over by the police. So as you can see, Backgrid is going on record to call both Meghan and Harry out. And right now, the Harkles are in damage control as the mainstream media is now pushing out this statement, but they're omitting some of the parts where they mention that they were there to cover this trip and that Meghan was seen smiling. What is very obvious and clear of Meghan and Harry's modus operandi, they do just enough to cause chaos, but not too much that they get caught and prosecuted by any kind of law. They get to the point where they're almost crossing that line, but they always manage to not do that. So if you look at this situation, there's no video showing this crazy, chaotic car chase that they keep talking about. There are no arrests. There has been no police report that has been filed, even though they have allegedly stated that they were chased by these aggressive paparazzi. There is no documentation to support it. However, the media that they pay to push out this propaganda goes ahead and saturates the news. And hence, you have this story giving off this impression and optics, because this is what all it is just optics, that they are hunted because they are so famous and desired like Diana, Princess of Wales. So, we know that this nonsense is just another one of the Harkle shenanigans, but the dangerous thing to all of this is how they are using the media and how far they will take it to recreate something that does resemble this horrific car chase that Diana had experienced and ultimately her untimely death. This staged attempt is to prove to the world that they indeed are chased by paparazzi, since they failed miserably in the shit flicks that they put out. Who could forget how they poorly staged being chased in New York in that Netflix 6-part wine fest? You put it all together and you realize that this is all just one act. Everything has been scripted. This was all about just driving around, acting as if they are being stalked, and that's the role that they're playing. And it's quite sad.
I mean, worst case scenario, so safety first.
Like, what stupidness is she ranting about? Did anybody understand that? And Harry's trying desperately to stick to the script because he keeps looking down at it.
Worst case scenario, so safety first. Worst case scenario, we're going from one garage to another.
This is such a joke. Like, she's acting as if they are in the city and they're going from one garage to another, which is not the case. As you can see here, these are clear indicators that they're off the island of Manhattan. and are in one of the boroughs, which the only borough that she would have any sort of interest in going to would be Brooklyn, because that's where Liz Garbus is. Then they added this stock footage. Not sure what they were trying to get out of this with this aerial view, but clearly that's not Manhattan. Clearly that's not Brooklyn either. By the looks of the number on the bus, that route is around the Bronx. So what does that mean? And this final clip is comical because it makes me think that they just went in one big loop out of the city and then back into the city because of the traffic pattern. As you can see, they're sitting in traffic, but on the other side, you see traffic flowing freely. And that happens when you have a weekday and it's a work day where people are coming inbound to the city as opposed to leaving the city. And then they play it off as if this whole trip was going to meet friends. No, this was this was let's drive around and film ourselves acting paranoid so we can use it for our show. How pathetic.
Be with friends in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Shut up, Meg.
Oh.
So my guess is that they wisened up, recognizing that people didn't believe it, and tried to do it again. My only concern is that now that this has been debunked and outed as being completely staged, that they're going to try this once more, but this time going to put other people's lives in jeopardy, solely to force this false narrative down people's throats in believing that they are so important that they need this required high-level security in order to be safe. And being how this two have schemed, manipulated, and lied on so many occasions that the next time that they go to stage a paparazzi chase, they will be putting somebody's life in danger, if not causing a fatal incident to happen. And they are selfishly doing this all for the optics. My guess is that they're not going to use New York anymore because twice now we've called them out on the bullshit. They may pick another city to go ahead and try and manipulate or deceive. Maybe they might do this in LA. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Harry's getting desperate. The Home Office looks like they're not going to be providing the security, so they have to prove their case. And what better way to do it than by staging all these breaches and coincidentally time it so that it's in everybody's faces. And that's exactly what I am believing and seeing is going on.
With this car chase in New York involving Prince Harry and Meghan. Well, I've just got off the phone with someone who was in it. His name is Chris Sanchez. He's with their security detail. He used to be with the Secret Service, and he told me it was the worst thing he's ever been through. It wasn't a high-speed chase because they were trying to stick to the speed limits and not put anyone in danger, but it did go on for more than 2 hours. It involved swapping vehicles and trying to get into safe spaces. They said there was about a dozen vehicles, cars, motorbikes and also cycles chasing them, trying to get pictures. At one point, Harry and Meghan's car was blocked off and photographers were taking pictures of them. They didn't at any point feel at risk. They were scared, but they didn't feel their life was at risk. They were, however, concerned about people dying on the roads because the paps, they say, were crossing red lights, going up onto the sidewalk, and at several points they were concerned that pedestrians could be killed. So it was pretty serious as far as they're concerned.
Now, I find it highly sketchy that the former Secret Service guy, Chris Sanchez, who worked for Obama, was able to speak out to this journalist who reported this on TikTok and then also reported this on CNN. It's quite interesting to see how many resources that Meghan and Harry have at their fingertips that are coming from either Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama. So now we learn that Chris Sanchez was Secret Service for Obama. Let's not forget that Meghan hired Obama's PR campaign manager. And then we also find out that from the Archwell charity, that money was given to a consultant firm who is tied to Michelle Obama. So many of you have stated that you believe that Meghan and Harry are backed by some very powerful people. And I share that same sentiment, and we can guess that they may not be backed financially, but perhaps they are shielded, which that I can say is a guarantee that they are getting assistance from people high up there within this country. And unfortunately, the landscape at the moment is not something that we can control because we are living in some very dangerous times in this country as many see what is going on. Part of the problem are the corrupt individuals like the Meghan and Harrys who are manipulating the public into grifting off the backs of hardworking people. And these are the same people that are responsible for interfering in places where they should not be interfering. So it makes perfect sense as to why Meghan Markle pushes certain racial agendas in order to further the agendas of those that are backing and supporting them. Now, there is a rumor, and it's only a rumor, that a certain former First Lady may be eyeing an important job in 2024. But getting back to this story, I don't think it matters that they've made their unofficial spokesperson look completely stupid, because they're going to continue to keep doing what they want. I just can't understand why Scobie is continuously thrown under the bus and made to look foolish as a journalist, and he continues to keep supporting them.
With history repeating itself, and obviously this event last night is exactly one of those moments that he would have no doubt dreaded his entire life.
So this is what our local news in New York City is reporting.
But there would be no speeding anywhere here. The cab got stuck behind a garbage truck, and the cameras caught up again. Security asked Sonny to take them back to the 19th, where they found another way home.
For a 10-minute ride, they gave me a 50.
Really?
Yeah, what else could you ask for, right?
Okay.
10 minutes, $50.
Police say this whole incident unfolded in a matter of minutes and didn't even register as an incident to the NYPD until Prince Harry's people released a statement about it earlier today. Cops say there were no arrests, there were no injuries, and life went on.
Nah, New York doesn't buy it for a second. Complete clowns.
Such a fraud.